Hey everyone, I just finished the Pacific Crest Trail, and I know on some of my previous videos I touched on some of the gear and equipment that I had with me, but in this video I'm going to talk about in detail what I brought with me, what I changed, what I swapped out, and some things I would have done a little bit differently. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to start with one of the big three, which is the tent. A tent is invaluable, especially when there's inclement weather. I opted for the Light Heart Gear Solo Awning Tent. It's a great tent. It's supposed to be one person, but it's really, really big. You'll notice I use a stick to hold the awning up. The tent does come with a pole, like a metal pole, but I just leave it at home and I just find a stick. It saves me the weight. So let's take a look inside. Alrighty. Okay. So, alright. So it does come with a net. Now, unfortunately, my zipper did break. Actually, both the zippers broke. So, but I have had this tent for 6 years. So please keep that in mind. I am sleeping on a piece of Reflectix. It's one of the lighter sleeping pads that you can make out there. It's definitely totally homemade, but it works in the summer. I would never use this in the winter time. It is a trekking pole tent, so you have a trekking pole there and another trekking pole there with a cross member at the top to give it its shape. There's lots of room on the sides, the head, the foot. I mean, yeah, in fact, I use my backpack at the top as my pillow, and sometimes I'll put my shoes down here. I never actually use, or rarely will put stuff outside in the awning, but I like to have the awning because it gives me a little more ventilation. So yeah, I definitely like the tent. For my sleeping bag, I went with a Z-Packs regular sleeping bag. It's got, I think, 950 fill count down, and it's got the one zipper right down the middle or down the back. However, here on the trail, the entire time, not once did I ever have to zip it up, just because the temperatures were so, well, comfortable. Cleaning a sleeping bag, especially a down one, can be a bit challenging, which is why, yep, I use a sleeping bag liner. It's much easier to clean a liner than it is the actual sleeping bag, especially if you got a down sleeping bag. So this is a silk sleeping bag liner that I actually found on Etsy. It was like $15, way more economical than some of your name brand liners. And what I like about the blue one here that I got off of Etsy is it is not a mummy shape, but rather a rectangular foot box. So it just gives you a little bit more room. If you recognize this backpack, it's the Granite Gear Crown 260. It's the same backpack that I've been using for about 3.5 years now, and it's got over 5,000 miles on it. It's a great pack. Oop, and there it falls down because there's actually nothing inside of it. So, but yeah, it's just over 2-pound backpack, and I think I bought it for $150. Granite Gear, great product, and but unfortunately, as you can tell. Yeah, this bad boy here, I think he's gonna be retired, and I'll have to get another backpack, and definitely Granite Gear is gonna be in the running. Okay, let's talk clothing. All right, as you can tell, I'm follically challenged, and I like to shave my head, but I don't like to burn it, so gotta wear a hat of some sort. Sometimes I'll even go like this, you know. This is a Belief hoodie, sun hoodie. And, well, I guess if I'm going to put the hood up, got to put the hat on normal. So it just kind of keeps the sun protection. And if you can tell in the back, yep, the sun has definitely faded parts of it. So, and I like it because if it's hot, if I want to, I can pull the sleeves back. And it's just a very comfortable shirt. So I do hike with gloves. These are sun gloves. Otherwise, the tops of my hands just get all burnt. These are Glacier gloves. If you see the brand right there. You get them off of Amazon. I want to say they're like $10 or $12, $15, whatever they are. They're about half the price of some of your other name brand ones, and they do the same job. So yeah, these are good. Okay, normally I hike in pants, but my pants, the crotch ripped out of it in Washington. So yeah, so I went out and I bought a new pair of pants. But you know, they were Wrangler, kind of heavy, but I needed something. But when I left Cascade Locks, I decided, hey, I'm gonna hike in my shorts, and these are the shorts I usually bring with me, just for in town or from doing laundry. And honestly, I never wore those Wrangler pants. I just really like these shorts. The mosquitoes weren't too bad, so just sometimes I had to put a little bit of DEET on. But I did find some bug pants in a hiker box, and I did wear these a few times just when the mosquitoes were just a little bit aggressive. But I will save these for anytime I'm going to be in any mosquito country. So, but yeah, I definitely like hiking in shorts. These are a pair of Umbro shorts, little soccer shorts. Believe it or not, 25 years ago, I used to play soccer in these in a league, a couple leagues. So yeah, it was really. But yeah, so anyways, I like shorts. One thing I noticed is, while normally I hike in pants, pants do have an advantage, because when you have long pants, the trail debris doesn't get into your shoes. But when I switched to shorts, I didn't have that covering going, between my leg and covering the top of my shoes. So I ended up getting a lot of trail debris inside my shoes. Easy way to fix this is a lot of hikers will use Dirty Girl gaiters, or any like Ultra makes gaiters, and it just covers from your leg and covers down to here so that no debris gets in. I didn't even think about that, and if I was to do this again and I was going to wear shorts, I would definitely wear some gaiters. So that's a lesson learned for me. If you're going to wear shorts, definitely wear gaiters. If you're not wearing shorts, if you're just doing pants, honestly, that's what I've been using normally is pants. You don't need gaiters. So yeah, okay, let's talk socks. Like many hikers, I'm a big fan of Injinji toe socks. They help reduce blisters, and they're just very comfortable. These socks lasted me about 500 miles. So for this 1,150 mile section this year, I did it with 2 pairs of Injinji. However, yep, these ones are pretty much done. There's some wear there. I got some wear here. So, and it's starting to get thin. So this is pretty much the end of these socks. The other pair of Injinjis actually developed a big hole right here as well. But again, after 500 miles. So yeah, I would definitely get a new pair of Injinjis and would definitely use Injinji again. For shoes, I went with Merrell's. Big fan of Merrell's. These ones lasted me all the way from Stevens Pass, so I think they've got over 800 miles on them, and they are definitely done though, especially if you look at the insides. So yeah, the material is starting to really fall apart. So if I was going to continue and hike further, I would have to get a new pair of shoes. The shoelaces, the sheathing on it actually came off, but the inner cores, they held up strong. During the colder hours, either in the early morning or late at night, I like this down jacket. Okay, it's got a hood, and this is made by Uniqlo. It's a Chinese company that sells actually good quality products at low prices. This down jacket cost me, I think, $45 on sale. Very economical versus some of the other higher end names. In fact, this is the same jacket that I started the PCT with back in March of 2020. A lot of times I'll actually sleep in the jacket just because my sleeping bag doesn't have a hood on it. So if I'm cold, I just throw this up, and it keeps me warm. So yeah, I like that. Oh, and if it rains, yep, I use a Marmot Precip rain jacket. So I'm a big fan of layers. So I got the Belief synthetic hood, the down jacket, and the rain jacket, just in case it gets cold. Since we never know how bad the mosquitoes are going to be, yeah, the head net is invaluable. On the back of my backpack, I keep one small piece of closed cell foam. This serves multiple purposes. A lot of people call it an ass pad. So it's just a way so you can put it down on the ground just in case the ground's wet, or if you're taking a break. But also, sometimes I'll use this to serve as a pillow when I'm inside my tent. If for some reason my backpack's a little lumpy and I just want a little extra comfort. Or I'll put this underneath my Reflectix sleeping pad if I want a little extra comfort, like in the hip area. Okay, let's talk water. All right, so it's pretty simple. You've got a clean bottle with a drinking tube, a dirty bottle, and a Sawyer filter. Now, the dirty bottle, this will go into the lake. So you get the lake water, hook up the Sawyer to the lid here, and then squeeze it into your clean bottle, and then drink straight out of it. So pretty simple. And then of course, if you need to carry 2 liters, you'll carry some extra water in here, and then use this later once this one gets empty. However, if you're in mosquito country and you know the mosquitoes are bad, you don't want to sit there and squeeze dirty water through a filter to make your clean water, which is why I always, yep, that's called iodine. I'll bring some iodine or water purification tablets. So if the mosquitoes are bad, I will fill both of these with dirty water, drop the water purification tablets in each of them, and then wait the appropriate amount of time. Depending on what kind of tablets you have, it's anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes. Ziplocs are your friend. All right, in this Ziploc, I've got my toiletry items and some medicines that I may take, like anti-inflammatory or allergy pills. This is stuff you'll use every day. That's your first aid kit. And yeah, you can get the first aid kits that are commercially produced, but I prefer to get the stuff that I actually want and I'll use. So I'll fill the Ziploc with stuff that I will most likely use while on trail, or am most likely to use in the event of an emergency. Let's talk poop. All right, Ziploc bag with some toilet paper in there. Okay, you'll have some hand sanitizer and a trowel to dig your cat hole. Sometimes you may run out of toilet paper. What do? You make a bidet. Yep, this here is basically just any old bottle cap with a hole drilled in it. You hook this up to your water bottle and you spray that water right on your butthole, and it'll knock the brown stuff off of you real quick. So, but keep that as a backup. Or a lot of people, they actually use the bidet as their primary way of cleaning up. But me, I'm old school, so I still like the paper, and of course use the hand sanitizer. All right, let's talk cook system. So here, I decided to go on this trail with isobutane as opposed to an alcohol stove due to the fire risks, which based on the closures, you can definitely see that there was a fire risk. So, and I'm going with a BRS 3000 stove. It weighs about 1 ounce. It does have shorter arms, so it is more susceptible to being tipped over, so you just gotta be a little more careful. The stove that I use is a titanium 950 milliliter, which is plenty of room, and I kind of made a homemade lid just to kind of keep it more efficient and keep the heat inside. You always need a lighter, but one thing about these stoves is if you have a little bit of wind, they're not efficient at all. So I use a titanium windscreen, put that right on there, and it really increases your efficiency and gets you more boils for every isobutane canister that you have. Okay, imagine for a second that there's actually food in here. It's hot, it's warm, you just got it cooked, and you want to keep it warm while you're eating. Well, that's where you got this Reflectix koozie. So it's custom made, so you just basically cut it to your own size, and it keeps your food warm. And of course, if you gotta keep it warm even longer, just put that lid on it and it'll keep it nice and warm. I do use a Sea to Summit aluminum spoon. Yes, you can save a fraction of a gram by going titanium, but honestly, the cost benefit isn't worth it. Okay, so you finish eating your food and you got to put everything away. Now, if you have a smaller isobutane, it'll go right in there, but I tend to use the 230s as opposed to the 110s. So the 110 will fit in there, but this 230 won't. So what I will do is I've got a handkerchief. It goes there, and anything I'm going to put inside, such as my BRS stove, my lighter, and I do have backup SBIT or solid fuel. It goes in there. The lid will go there, and then this will go inside the carry bag and will hold it all secure. The reason for this is because you don't want to hear, clang, 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 clang inside your backpack while you're walking. It gets annoying. So. Okay, let's talk food. All right, this here is an op sack or odor-proof sack. When you're in bear country at night, I put all the food in here that can be scented. Okay, compartmentalization. All right, carbs in one bag, daily snack bars in another. Yeah, that's a Thermarest bag, but That's where I put all my daily bars, which I'll have for lunch. And then I'll have one bag, which will have proteins, such as tunas or whey protein powders. So yeah, it's pretty simple. And you take a carb, you take a protein, mix it together, and there you go. Maybe add some seasonings if you need it. This little find really came in handy. Found it in a hiker box. It's a sun umbrella, and in those exposed areas, especially where there was burned out trees and there was no shade, it came in real handy. If there's going to be a lot of exposure in the future, yeah, definitely going to bring this sun umbrella. And of course, we can't forget the Ditty Bag. This is an air zippity made by Granite Gear. So in this, I'll just put mostly electronics, but other little knickknacks, whether it be this here, which is the titanium windscreen for my stove, my spoon, power banks, more electronic charging cables, a pen, and of course, I always bring some 550 cord, paracord, just in case I need to hang anything from a tree, I break a shoelace, or I need it as a clothesline, which I did use it for in Stehekin. Well, there you have it. That's a synopsis of the gear that I brought, some slight changes that I made, and some things that I probably would have done a little bit differently. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below, and I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. All right, hike on!